on us to get things right the first time. We only have one shot at these people, and it's so obviously easy for someone just to drop the hammer, hang up the phone on us. So we've learned a few things along the years. I've been doing it over the phone, Medicare, since 2008. While a lot of the people in this industry now that are experts are, we're just in high school or middle school. And we learned a lot of things on doing over the phone business when seniors back in that day, way back when, they were so scared and so hesitant and so reluctant to do business over the phone. That was before cell phones were really, really prominent, especially in the senior adoption of using cell phones. It was not that way like it is today. And then we had COVID that hit, in 2020, beginning of 2020, and so many agents made that shift from face-to-face business interaction to doing it over the phone, and they're kind of thrust into it against their will. And they still had the challenge of building trust and rapport with people. And so what I did the other day in the Aetna webinar, if you didn't see it, it's on our website, MedicareAgentTraining.com. It was a long, in-depth analysis on getting set up behind the scenes so that people can find you. And that's why I'd like to take the next step today, if anybody's so bold, to put into the comment section what your website is, so we can look at a couple of them and give some suggestions on that and maybe improve where you are in your business. I don't know. And some other people can learn from it. What I found about this industry that's so unique, unlike life insurance really, is that in the Medicare world, there are just not many agents that are actually, they've built their agency on their own. They're making millions of dollars. It's very successful. They're hiring, they're growing, they're trying to keep up with it over a sustained period of time, a decade or more. And those people are willing to share with other agents what they've done. It just really doesn't happen. Where it did happen was on the company trips. I met a guy named Mike from California on the Mutual of Omaha trip to Rome, sitting at a table there, and we're sharing what we do. And he does everything in person, and he competes with his brother, and they are an awesome family of people that really care about people. But he was just sharing with me what he does in his business, and I was just sharing with him what I do in my business, and there was some overlap there where we could actually benefit each other by sharing ideas. I found the same to be true on the Cigna trip to Banff in Canada. We took our kids with us on that trip for the first time. We took them on a company trip, and then right from there we flew over to Portugal on the Manhattan Life trip, kind of all together, a 10-day or 12-day jaunt, and our kids were with us. It was so much fun. But on these trips, that's the opportunity where you can sit down with other top producers, and everybody sitting at the table obviously has earned their way there, and they share. But outside of that, you don't see large industry icons just going out publicly sharing what they're doing. And each time that I meet with a new member of our website, they're kind of shocked, and they're like, I can't believe you're taking the time to do this. I find a lot of energy and joy by sharing what I'm doing with other people. And I think there's such a big pie. There's such an amazing abundance of business and people to help that I'm not going to lose anything by sharing with other people what we're doing and what we've learned. And more than that, I wish I had somebody there to walk through my journey with me, but I didn't. So I want to try to give back as I've turned 50 years old and getting old in this world. So I want to share a couple of philosophies that have really guided me in my business and really driven the fact that we do business 100% over the phone with people calling us. We're not calling anybody. We're not cold calling. We're not telemarketing. We're not doing direct mail. We're not doing pay-per-click advertising. We're not doing any advertising whatsoever. People are finding what I'm putting out there on the internet, and they're responding. And we get messages all the time, like at least twice or three times a week, where somebody specifically says, I found something that you wrote, or I found something that you did online, and I consumed all of your content all night long. And now here I am, 9 o'clock. Can you please call me? I'm ready to sign up for whatever you suggest. And I would just argue that if you're somewhere between no one knows who you are, or everybody in the Medicare space knows who you are, somewhere in the middle there, it really will serve you, because it will save you so much energy on trying to convince somebody that they can trust you when they can already find that out for themselves. So one of the principles that I've always loved is Stephen Covey, where he says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So many salespeople that they're bold again. And if you're one of those bold people, feel free to submit your website name in the comment, either on Facebook or YouTube. I'll see it here in just a second. And we'd love to go through your website publicly. Everybody will see this, but we can make some suggestions. But when I do listen to calls from agents, and I'll do that from time to time, I'll ask them if they're having struggles and they're not making any closes, and they're consistently getting leads, but they don't have a close happening out of those. I want to listen to their call. And when I listen to their call, invariably one of two things happens. Either one, they'll never, ever, ever ask the person to do anything. And this morning at 2 a.m., I was listening to Zig Ziglar, what is it called? The Closing the Sale video he did in, I don't know, 1980 something, maybe 1990. He talks about back then, the studies show that only 4% of salespeople will ask the fifth time or continue to persist past the person saying no for the fifth time. And the overwhelming majority of salespeople will never even ask for the sale or ask for a person to become a client or ask the person to take the next step. And that's just absolutely crazy. So as I'm listening to these calls from agents, and you'll hear consistently that they want to give information. And at the end of it, there's no, okay, here's the next step. There's no call to action. There's nothing at all. And that's the first thing. They never ask for the sale. The second thing that I hear all the time when I'm reviewing other people's phone calls is they throw up on the prospect, never even taking account for the fact that this person may have studied more about Medicare than you know in your whole lifetime. The Medicare New Guidebook. I can't tell you how many times we've spoken with engineers on the phone that are retiring from their engineering practice, their business. They've done it their whole lives. They know how to analyze a blueprint and tell you everything in plain English out of that blueprint. They analyze that book and they know how Medicare claims are processed more than any insurance agent ever will. And yet the agents, when they're talking to them on the phone, presuppose that they know absolutely nothing about Medicare. So the agent will just go over, okay, I'm going to tell you about Medicare right now. Part A is this. Part B is this. Never checking in with the prospect to say, what do you know about all this already? I don't want to waste your time or insult your intelligence. If you've already done all this research, let's just skip to the part where you have any ambiguity or any questions at all or anything unresolved so that we can skip right to that point. If you just do that alone, you probably cut your presentation time by 90% just by asking where they are already in the process of their own discovery. So I encourage you to do that. But if we just start by asking the question at the beginning, where are you already in your journey? Some people will put it off to the last minute when they're turning 65 and they'll be like, yeah, I got a stack of mail on my desk that's yay big. I haven't looked at any of it. I just found your phone number from some kind of advertisement, maybe somewhere, and you tell me what I need to do. And oftentimes they don't even want to hear the whole thing about Medicare, but many agents just don't listen to that and they just want to throw up on them. So I would first really encourage you just to listen to where they are first and don't presuppose that they just have no idea what they're doing. And then I want to share with you a resource that's really helped my life a lot. And this is, there's so much you can learn on YouTube. I mean, completely, absolutely free. And this is a resource that not many people know about. It's called Income School. One of these guys, this one here, this guy right here is a lawyer, super smart dude. And the other guy is a professional blogger now. These guys have come up with a system and we pay for their course every year. It's Income School. And what they do is they have now, probably more than this now, but they had purchased an old house, a big 2-story house, and they renovated this house. And in the house, they hired all these brand new college kids that are just fresh out of college. And I don't know if they have journalism degrees, but probably so. That's probably what they're looking for. And they put them on a research assignment, given certain criteria, what they want them to research based on the different website niches that they're building along the way. And it is so super successful. And why do I mention that? Well, the purpose of these guys is simply that they will go out and build websites on camping, on motocross, on how to find the best pair of sunglasses, whatever it is. And they build such a following with these organic posts on their website that don't cost anything except the time and the labor involved in creating the website and creating the articles and the infographics and the videos and things that go inside the website. They've got it down to an absolute science. So if you look at their free YouTube channel, you'd be shocked at how much they give away for free. And they talk about how their websites are earning. And the way that they earn money is not by selling any product or service, and I'm sure they've monetized to that degree now. But all the while, the whole premise has been that they set up their websites to be perfect targets for Google ads. And they'll run Google ads strategically on their website after their website has built some prominence and some following from people. And then they can start putting ads on their websites, and from the ad revenue, they can start making money. And I know that they've diversified into other income streams from that too, like selling little courses and selling a cheat sheet and checklist and things like that. But these guys, and again, I've mentioned this many times before, there are so many experts that are geniuses in marketing because they figured it out on their own, but they have absolutely nothing to do with insurance. Not at all. So if you're doing your Saturday morning research, like I was doing at 2:30 this morning, and you're looking at other things that other people have done in other industries. I mean, Zig Ziglar was started with pots and pans, right? But he learned about closing and he learned about human interaction. Just like these guys have absolutely mastered the fact of how you can be found online by generating articles. How long is the article? How many words? On what grade level is the article written on? Things like Yoast, the plugin, Yoast, can help you with that. They can look at your article or your post that you've written, and they can tell you first how many words it is, how many keywords you've had in there, how many links you have in there, if it looks too spammy, if it's written on too high of a grade level. You can use something like Grammarly. Grammarly is free, but we like the paid version. You could write your article or your post over in Google Docs, which is completely free, docs.google.com, create a new document. It's the old way of doing Microsoft Word that nobody uses anymore. And using Grammarly as the plugin there, it'll tell you if your grammar is straight or not. Anyway, these are some free resources, and I digress. There's so much stuff you can get just on YouTube alone that consuming the content of these people alone will absolutely change your life. I'm telling you. So make a note of that. Then there's the old skyscraper method, and this is just genius. I first heard this at the Traffic and Conversion Summit in California. And I thought, man, that is just absolutely genius. What it is, in Google nowadays, they'll have a snippet, which is you'll ask a question. And what Google's trying to do really is trying to keep you on the platform all the time, just like Facebook does. But Google wants to keep you on the Google platform and not have you jump off to Chris Westfall's site or anybody else's website. So if Google can answer your question and keep you yet on their platform to continue to see ads, maybe scroll to the second page, see more ads in that. That's their goal. So how can you become the trusted authority on Google? One of the ways you can do that is by answering the questions that people typically ask in your space. And so when you do that, you'll find if you just start Google searching, and this is a great exercise for anyone to do, start Google searching questions that seniors are commonly asking. Example, what is Plan F? What is Plan G? How to start Part B? Leave an employer plan or Medicare? Which is best? Which is better, Plan G or Plan N? Which is better, Plan F or Plan G? And then company names, carrier names, and all that. So once you find what Google has already identified through their artificial intelligence algorithm as the best solution for that inquiry, for that question, sometimes you're going to see those as a little window that pops up. Those are little snippets that they've excerpted from someone's website that they see as an authority. And that's what I spent all the time on the Aetna webinar talking about, is how to build your domain as domain authority and yourself as the author on that website so that Google knows that you're absolutely legit. So when Google has identified what they consider an authority and they answer the question there, what you can simply do is go to the source of that answer, right? And you can identify what did they do right here? How did they do that? You can kind of reverse engineer and take, what's the word? Don't copy, but you can take inspiration from someone else's work. And using the inspiration from their work, that comes into the skyscraper method, which is first, find the good content. What is answering the question? What does Google see as an absolute authority on this right now? And then make something better. For goodness sake, don't copy the stuff word for word. I have friends in the industry that have much better websites than I do that are ranked so sky high with everything having to do with Medicare. And these people will reach out to me from time to time and say, hey, this person who says that they're a member of your website was on my website and copied everything on my website word for word. I'm blown away. We had an agent last week that our lawyer got in touch with, literally copying the name of my agency on his website to try to divert off search engine traffic. And it happens all the time. Found another one on Facebook the other day called Southwest Senior Savings Network. We have to raise the bar of integrity in our little industry here of insurance, and don't think that the shortcut is copying word for word, page by page. There was another training done by somebody else in our industry where an agent literally said in their live stream training, yeah, I went to her website and I had my developer just copy everything. She reached out to me and she was so mad because we had copied everything on their website. I didn't really intend to, but the developer was supposed to copy everything and then start making changes. That is not ethical. That is not even cool. And it's something that if you start off your business completely copying somebody else by thinking that you're going to get that far ahead, not only will you find yourself on the receiving end of a lawsuit, a cease and desist order, and have an industry bad reputation, but it really just starts you in the wrong impression with people who later on, if you're sitting at the table with them at one of these functions, at a company trip, a rewards trip, and they remember, oh, you're the guy that stole my name. You're the guy that stole all my content. We had to get you shut down. Not a good way. And this is a small industry. Really, it's a small amount of agents that are specializing in Medicare these days. And so when you have a bad reputation, it absolutely will get out and it'll go around. And as I've mentioned for years and years, one of my first sources of inspiration was this book by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, it is super dated now. He's talking about social media platforms that are not even legitimate anymore, to be sure. Like, what was the one, Google Plus or Google, whatever the one was that they tried? And what he's talking about here is little snippets of information that you put out on a regular basis. And look, he defined it himself. He said, jab, 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 right hook is about lightweight pieces of content, and I call them snackables, that benefit your followers by making them laugh, snicker, ponder, or play a game, or feel appreciated or escape. And in my world, this comes down to educate them. Answer the question that they're already asking in their mind, like I heard Dan Kennedy say. Whatever you can do to answer the question that your prospects already have going on in their mind. Number one is their technical question. How do I get started? Where do I go? Which plan's better? That kind of thing. Number two is, who in the world can I trust? Because let's face it, our industry is rampant with people who don't ascribe to the highest ethical morality standards. It's just true. So their question in their mind is, who in the world can I trust? So that's what we have to answer. And we answer that by being an authority, by answering the questions that they've asked in the first place, and by the overall context of, hi, my name is Christopher Westfall. I'm going to answer today this question because I get it so many times. Here's the answer. Here's the documentation. Here's the website. Here's what Medicare said. Here's a news clip about it. Here's a quote from somebody in the industry that are in authority. So I'm borrowing and I'm inferring from all these different sources the authority to answer that specific question someone's having. And what Gary's point is here is, if you provide enough value, then and only then do you have the right to ask for the sale after you've provided value. You know, there's, I don't want to get preachy here, but growing up in a Christian school my whole life leaves me with all these memories. And one of the ones that comes to mind first is the scripture that says, give and it shall be given to you. It doesn't say ask and it shall be given to you. It doesn't say ask politely or have a really good mail piece. It literally says give first. There's actually a hierarchy there. There's an order, a chronology of events. Give first, then it will be given to you in the measure that you gave first. So if you don't give anything to the industry and you literally are just putting out there a fishing line, one fishing line of one method of marketing, and with that method of marketing, you're just saying, I'm in the industry. I do this. This is my business. This is my thing. If you need me, reach out to me. It is going to be so minimally effective. What do we look for? Direct mail response. We look for direct calling, direct to consumer response. We're happy if we get 1.5% return. Why is that? Meanwhile, you could be enjoying a 90% closing ratio with 100% inbound calls. How does that happen? It happens by giving first. And then magically, as if this was a proverb that no one had ever discovered before, if you give enough, people will beat down a path to your door. And Gary's quote that I love here is 99% of people, wait a minute, 1%, 99%. Look at that correlation there. 99% of people don't market in the year that we actually live in. So, you know, I think that each marketing method, while it's still, and I've said this all the time, every piece of marketing will work to some degree, but the return on ad spend or the cost per acquisition for any direct to consumer marketing piece is going to have a limitation on it. And I've experienced in my life that when we've tested different things, that they all have a shelf life and they start to diminish, the diminishing returns. Like with direct mail, the cost of direct mail has gone up. Well, in the last year, just the delivery has gone down, and it's documented by everybody, including the Department of Insurance, as I covered recently, notifying agents, hey, your client policies may be lapsing. Why? Because the Postal Service can't even get to them the notice that their policies are lapsing. So please do everything you can, these notices say from the Departments of Insurance, to try to help them get their policy back in good standing, because the mail system is just falling down. With telemarketing, look at that. Caller ID apps on your cell phones now. Everybody's got a smartphone. They're blocking caller ID numbers time and time again, more and more and more. Marketing has always been a cat and mouse game of trying to get one step ahead of where the people are trying to defeat marketing. And let's just face it, no one wants to be marketed to. No one wants to be convinced about anything. No one wants to be interrupted, to be sure. And so we've seen Facebook ads and their veracity just going way down, their efficiency, because the cost per ad is going up. Why? Because people are getting sick and tired of being interrupted all the time. What's much better, and this is what I'm advocating for to kind of raise the standard in our industry, is be the resource that people look to and go, wow, that person answered my question. And they did it in a way that was not sleazy, not salesy. They weren't asking for anything right off the bat. They're literally providing value. The problem that I see with so many agents that are just starting in the business, they're like, well, that's great. That's all well and good for you. You have the time to sit back and watch your agency do all the work while you're all creating marketing pieces. I started doing this when it was just me, myself, and I. 2 AEPs ago, I was in there with them answering the phones, writing applications, trying to put out fires all the time, chasing down policies, working with carriers, wondering why things are going wrong with carriers and all that kind of stuff. From 8 to 5. And then from 5 to 8, I was creating articles and videos, and then transcribing those videos into articles, putting those posts on my website, and then distributing them to the other websites, and then putting the social media posts back to those initial articles and videos on the website. I was doing that, and then I got home. Well, first it would render, then I'd have to upload it, then I'd have to put the backlinks to it from the articles and the transcribe parts of it, put that out as a PDF, and then go home at 11 o'clock at night. I did that for 17 days in a row. Why? Because I had to. That is the time of the harvest right then. That's when all the eyes are looking for the search engines for all the questions regarding Medicare. What's the latest? What are the changes and all that kind of thing? Meanwhile, my competition is saying there's no time to do that. How am I supposed to write applications during the day and work on my website at any other time? It just can't be done. Okay, well, you can think of it as a job if you want to. There's no shame in that. I put these on the screen here because if you didn't make the Aetna webinar that I was on last week, these are some of the people that I subscribe to and watch every single thing they do, because they have nothing to do with insurance, but they are the smartest in their different fields. So these are just a few of them. And I'm going to get to the websites in just a minute. If anyone has been so bold to leave their website address in the comments here on YouTube or on Facebook, however you're watching this right now, so we can go through your website publicly and make some suggestions and things that others might benefit from. If you haven't done that yet, feel free to comment on the platform that you're watching this live stream on. But anyway, we don't look for all the time a one-on-one immediate response to our direct marketing. It has to be a longer game than that. If you plan on treating this as a career, if this is your business and this is not your job, then you really should be thinking about this business a lot more than 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week to me is part-time, because I live this every single day, and I've benefited from being around other people who live this every day, and they've kind of raised the bar because they know what they're doing and they live this like it's actually, their livelihood kind of a thing. So I'm going to go in here and here's some behind the scenes things in our office. I'm going to go look at the comments so far. We've got one website there that we can look at. Good morning, y'all. Richard, Lori, Ricky, cool. I'm under a broker, but I don't have much say for changes. Well, you probably shouldn't be there. There are so many people that are subscribed to the old mentality in this business that you have to stay where someone is not helping you, not supporting you. And what we've had lately, just the last 3 weeks, is a rash of agents who have reached out and said, look, I've got all my contracts under this FMO, but you provided more value and more help without even being my upline. How do I actually kind of reward you by moving my contracts under you? And what they found is where some of these huge organizations have cubicles that go for miles, the people that are on those cubicles with the headsets and they're calling all the time saying, hey, we got a new little company that just started. There's a bonus. Do you want a contract? Do you want a contract? Do you want a contract? And then so the agent will have a problem with that new company, probably because it's outsourced to somebody else. And then they call that upline and say, hey, I've got a problem with this. My commission didn't work, or they didn't approve this case, and there's nothing wrong with the underwriting. Can you help me out? And they're like, well, you need to call the company. You need to call the carrier. What? Worse than that is the upline has no idea what you're talking about because they don't actually sell insurance. So I found that there's a little bit of a value in having not only a top producer that you're aligned with, but actually somebody who's in the game, a practitioner of doing it every day. So yeah, there is a difference there, and you don't have to stay where you are if that's the case. Let's see. Currently updating my website. Also upon your, let's see, on your recommendation, got an 800 number through Ring Central. Cool. All right, Toby, we'll look at that in a minute. Tommy's got his website on there we can look at. Hey, Scott, good to see you on here. Before COVID, 80% of our business was face-to-face. Now we're 100% over the phone, writing 30 to 40. So, Scott, I've been trying to get you to do over the phone for 5 years, man. I'm so glad you're doing it now. That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, this is right on point. Toby said that he had a prospect that was just that, an engineer. He knew everything, even excess charges, spent hours boring all over the internet. Cut out the learning. Why? Because you asked him first where he is in the process, and you didn't waste that time. Let's see. Got another website there. Doug, good to see you this morning. So let's jump into a couple of things. Yeah, Stuart, exactly. Plagiarizing. Stuart says, keep in mind that something on my site here was born from some of your stuff back when you were providing sites for us. Okay, I gotcha. We had a website service that we were just creating websites out of templates that our members could pick. You could pick one of 5 templates, I think it was, and we'd go set up the website on hosting that we had. But then the responsibility came back to the agent to go update your website every once in a while. And if you're using WordPress, you really have to stay on top of that because plugins become vulnerable over time, especially the ones that are used by a lot of people. And so this was a real big problem when agents would let their website go and not do a thing to their website for 2 and 3 years at a time. So their website got corrupted, then the cPanel got corrupted, then the WHM got corrupted, then the whole server got corrupted, and we ended up having to shut that program down. Yeah, that was a nightmare. So let's see. Do you recommend a website building service or paying a developer to build it? Hey, guys. Yeah, it's good to hear from you. I do like Squarespace a lot. I can tell you that. Squarespace, HubSpot, is that right? HubSpot, Wix, and Weebly. We have a couple of experiments we did on Wix.com. They ranked really well right out of the gate, and that's not even with a custom domain, of which I have too many right now. I'll just think of an idea at 2 o'clock in the morning and go, you know what? I know what we can do. We can do this domain, but went to the wrong screen there. Look at that, brand new at it. But it doesn't matter really what platform. I think the templates that they've got, like on Squarespace and Wix and Weebly, are fantastic. And then if you have a domain and through the CNAME, you attribute your domain to that website address, so you get all the domain authority for whatever you're building over there. Using a service like that, a done-for-you service, can really get you way ahead of the game. And I think within an hour or 2 hours, simply by filling into a template your contact information, starting with the most important thing, name, address, and phone number at the very top, then you can get there in no time at all, and at least verify for the world that you actually do exist when someone goes to search you online, which everyone is doing right now. Let's see. I'm a new Medicare broker, so much to learn. I only know about doing events to get prospects. And that too has been a big difference lately. I know of several agencies that have relied on live events for their entire business. Matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story. Top producer, awesome guy in the, let's say, Midwest area. We met him years ago. We took a ride with him in the Gap of Dunlow in Ireland on the Mutual of Omaha trip. Then we saw him again on the Mutual of Omaha trip in the Dominican Republic a couple years ago and spent more time with him. Just an awesome couple. And his whole thing was doing live seminars. I mean, he is like an absolute audience magician. Not only does he know the topic of Medicare better than probably anyone, but his ability to communicate that in such a practical and tangible way where somebody can walk away going, man, I get it. Yes, that's awesome. He is the best at this. Well, he was doing these live presentations all the time, and that's how he would get all of his customers in. Matter of fact, he was #1 agent this past year for one of the top carriers in the country. Well, anyway, COVID hit, and we had a conversation on the phone. And the conversation was along the same lines as we had in the Dominican Republic, where I said, hey, why don't you consider, I mean, we're just, spitballing completely different business ideas here, but why don't you consider encapsulating your live presentation and putting it into a webinar presentation with so many software services out there like Webinar Jam and what's the other one that I just saw? We've been testing a whole bunch of these lately. They can play your webinar, your video, as if it were live, but it's, evergreen. It's always playing, but you can then be on there to answer people's questions live. So everything you're doing for marketing your seminar, you can do for marketing your evergreen webinar, while still giving people the feeling that they're coming to a live event and they can engage with you there from the comfort and the privacy and the safety of their own keyboard, because you can't see them. It's a one-way webinar. So he said, no, man, I'm having so much fun with the crowd. Everything's going great. This is pre-COVID. And so COVID hit, and he calls me to tell me that he has switched now to virtual webinars, virtual seminars, and his business has blown up by using technology. And so back to Gary Vaynerchuk's statement about 99% of the people are marketing, not even in the current year that we're in. I think that live seminars, a couple months ago, saw a young man doing a seminar. He was doing, he had done 3 seminars at this point. And he was telling everybody on the internet that he's an expert in doing seminars now. God bless him. Hey, that's great. But this is right in the middle of COVID. And our most susceptible people ever to the COVID vulnerability is the senior market. And so if nothing goes against the headwind more than this, to invite someone into a close proximity, and the marketing piece that they were using literally said, we're going to be doing social distancing, everybody's going to be protected and all that. He's putting out pictures that people are right on top of each other, no one wearing a mask and all that kind of thing. Believe what you will about any of it. It's kind of like false advertising to invite all these seniors to the door, and those that are scared and have all these other conditions going on, looking around the room going, what am I doing here? And they might turn tail and run. All I'm saying is meet people where they are. What I've discovered online, from everything from having our chat button on our website to having them fill out information that does not require them to put their phone number in, these are things that they're already thinking in their mind, like, I don't want to submit my information. I don't know if I trust you enough right now. Maybe I can just simply ask you a question on your website without having to go further, certainly without giving out my phone number. I don't want you sending me emails. I just want my question answered. So when we thought through their process and how they feel about the whole thing, then we can meet them where they are and bring them in by proving who we are, by proving the value that we're going to answer their question with no anticipation of reciprocity at the front end. I really don't have any back end where I'm just going to be like, oh, you came in, boom, now I'm going to put you in my 15-week autoresponder series, and you're going to have to try to opt out of my program and constantly tell MailChimp or whatever to get out because you didn't want those emails in the first place, or blow up their phone 15 times and text them 10 times before lunch. People just don't want that. They just want to dip their toe in. And so many agents will have this big wall up. Well, if you're not going to enter in all your contact information and it can be validated online, then we're not going to take the time to reach out to you. And if you have a call center of 100 people, I certainly get that. Don't want to waste the time. But I have experienced in my business that if you meet people simply where they are and give them the answer to what they're asking in the first place, it just goes so much better for both of you. And you can bring them in gently into your fold without having to, threaten them to conform to your funnel the way that you've set up your process and say, well, if you're not going to go my way, then I've got nothing for you. So we're going to go into websites here, and let me just go down here. My website's being developed. Oh, but back to your question for the Medicare millennials dudes. I have always been a subscriber to the fact that I want to be in complete control of my websites. And does that degrade their efficiency somewhat? Yes, I'm certain that it does. But if I want to throw a banner on my website that has something scrolling across the top, I certainly don't want to be writing to my developer that's in the Philippines or in India or right down the street and say, hey, when you have time, I'd like this message on my website and I'd like it to disappear on 12 o'clock the day that we're doing our live session. And I'd like it to link back to the web page where the post is that's linking to the YouTube live thing. I don't want to take the time to involve somebody else to do all that kind of stuff. So I want to know how the websites work so I can utilize the best practices that are out there. And I think that's part of being a practitioner, because the reality is I think we're more in the marketing business than we are the insurance business. We're trying to help people. We're by delivering a product to people, but we need to be better practitioners, I think, of delivery of that information to them. And the only way we can do that is by staying up to date on what's working in marketing, and website development is just a part of that. And nowadays with WYSIWYG website development tools, that's what you see is what you get. Simply dragging and dropping things to where you want them to be. The days of old HTML coding and JavaScript and all that kind of stuff are way behind us. You don't have to know that stuff anymore. You can use all kinds of website builders like Wix and Weebly and Squarespace and the rest to get a pre-designed template that's already been proven to be a converting tool, and just plugging in your information there and then adding to it with articles and videos and that kind of thing. Let's see. Okay, good. We got a few of them. Sergio, I see yours there. Thank you, Jordan. That's really nice of you. I'm working out of my home office. Is it okay to use a P.O. box address on a website? I'll just share with you, Doug, what I did on mine. What was that address? South Industrial Drive in Orange City, Florida. I had an office that was kind of across the street, but before I had the office, I was working from home. I tried to get out of home as soon as possible because the honey-do list is like, hey, you're home. Can you go get the kids from school? Or can you go get this can you fix this over here and all that kind of stuff? And I'm not knocking on Nicole because she's in another room and throw something at me. But I am telling you that what I learned was I'm way more effective if I can be in the office, and I go to the office to work on purpose. But to answer your question, while I was working at home, I had a P.O. box too. And so what I did was I put my business, the agency, the address for the licenses, Google My Business, all that kind of stuff. I did it as the address for the post office, the physical address, not the P.O. box. So many times the services won't let you do a P.O. box, and it looks like you're trying to hide from the public. So I would simply put 123 South Industrial Drive, suite number 740344. And that's literally what it was. And so by doing that, people could see that there was a physical location. Now, if they took the time to drive from Michigan, which is where I was selling at the time, drive from Michigan to Florida to look at my agency, they're going to see that it is the United States Postal Service. But the physical address with the suite number always got my mail and my packages delivered. So it worked for me. Let's see. I realized that typing in my own website, that the phone number is required field. I will be changing that immediately. Good deal, Tom. You were in Nashville. We talked about this in Nashville. I don't remember much. Uh-oh. I am busted. That's my wife. Okay, so let's go into looking at a couple of websites if y'all have the patience for it. I really do think it might help someone. So I'm going to go into a Google screen here. Let's go back up to the first ones that were shared. 1 second, y'all. Thanks for your patience and being here. Got an 800 number. There we go. Stark-Associates. Now, if I'm a senior, and I always want to put myself in the mind of a senior and how a senior is doing this kind of thing. There we go again with the fighter jets landing. Wish I could spin my camera around and show you all these things. They're F-35s and Raptors that are coming and going out of here every day. It's so much fun. Okay, Tony, let's look at this website. So anyway, in the mind of the, that's an F-18. Tom Cruise, Seaman Top Gun, coming in theaters near you soon. So your website is already, I can tell it's mobile optimized, but it's not desktop optimized. I can tell that because of the angle of it is so compressed like this. Let me make it full screen so you can see what I'm talking about. I can make it, yeah, I'm already at 100 zoom right there. And that's a good image there. But here's what's going to happen. I can just tell you. So you're talking to a senior virtually, and you're saying to the senior, hey, you got my mail piece, you got my call from my marketer, whatever, however you found me, Chamber of Commerce and that kind of thing. And they call you, and on the phone, you're discussing with them that you are who you say you are. And you know what? Go to our website and check us out. Go check out our testimonials. You're going to be amazed at what you see, right? Mr. Senior is going to say, okay, yeah, I'll go do that. What's your website? My website is stark-associates.com. That's stark- or hyphen, however you're saying this, .com, right? And I'm going to go down here. And if you want to comment some more, Mr. Stark, feel free, because I'm watching if you're saying anything. And so while you're telling them to go to stark- or stark-associates, all they're going to write down, or all they're going to go to, unless you're live with them, walking them through this process, is Stark Associates. They're going to literally go to Google and type that in. They are. I'm telling you, no matter what you tell them, they're going to type it in the search engine. And what is the search engine going to come back as? There's LinkedIn. Bam. Covered this the other day. There's another Stark and Associates. Glassdoor. I can't find your website. Does your website exist? Now I found you on Indeed if you're hiring somebody. So you'll either have to literally send them a link, and this is done by people. Tell them to go to your email, Mr. Jones. Go to your email, and in your email, I'm going to send you a link to my website. Now, that's a good time for a game booster to come up. Should he have to go to his website in order to, his email in order to get you to his website? No. He should already be able to find it. And the only way you can do that is by making it so unique that they cannot miss it, by making it something that stands out. And if you look at the post and the research that I did on Marketing to Seniors, which is a great book by a financial planner that's no longer with us, but so much great research into how seniors respond to advertising, you'll see that it doesn't need to be the name of your company as your name, your company name, your family name, like Toby Stark Insurance, because it makes it look like, I see these YouTubers on there, and they're starting to recruit agents for the very first time. And they're like, we, this agency, and we're going to do this for you, and we're going to do this training, and we're going to do this. And you look around, it's like, who, you and the frog in your pocket? Who's we, right? Because they have their name as the agency. So in the context of working with seniors, they want to do business with a company. They want to do business with a corporation. They don't necessarily, because they think of more than any other demographic whatsoever, they're thinking business continuity. They're like, Chris, you're really old and unhealthy. What in the world happens if something happens to you? I've literally been asked that from people. Well, we are a corporation. It will go on. It's an agency, and people have stock in our company, and it's going to go right on. There's no problem with business continuity whatsoever. But things that bring that into their mind is the name of your company literally your own name, that you are the sole proprietor of that company? I'm telling you just for perspective, their perception of you. So as I'm looking at this, not only can I not find it by just typing in the name of a company that kind of stands out, and there's so many buzzwords, again, that I cover in that post called how to be found online, and how to pick a name. I'll show you right quick. Right here. So if you're on the website, and see that top thing will disappear because my developer made it so. What is in a name? How to pick a name. How to pick a name for yourself. And this is a post where we go through that in great detail, and there's a video that will show up there. It's a lot of research on it that's really good. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. So we go to the website here, and we've got the phone number. So you've got name, address, and phone number. Address not so important anymore, especially if you're doing virtual, but we do have the phone number up here. That's awesome. The phone number on your website has to be clickable. And by clickable, that's the HTML code for TEL colon. And you can, in most website editors, you can edit that real easy and make it that way. You can click the phone number in most all the websites, and it should go straight to that call. Why is this important? Because more than 65% of our search traffic is coming from mobile phones. And on the odd chance that they're on mobile, I want them to be able to click the phone number and get straight through to us. If this were a phone number on this website, then any telephone device that I have on here, and we have Nextiva as our business office phone number. If I click on any phone number in our CRM or any phone number on any website, I can just click on the phone number and boom, it's dialing that for me. So that's just a little feature that should be on here. And then as I talked about the perception with seniors, and I don't care if you're dealing with business just across the street or in 15 different states, it really helps your image with the senior demographic to have an 800 number, 800. And I would really recommend having an 800 number. If you want to have a local number too, that's great. Put it in there because there's some, if you're doing all local marketing, there is some branding benefit to being in the same area code as the people that you're in. If you're not just doing local marketing, it absolutely will hurt you to have just a local area code from someplace that is not their hometown. They look at that and they're like, oh, you're not from my area? Oh my gosh. That's a conversation I want to have, 60% down the road of, you already love my company. You love us to death. Oh yeah, you're in Charleston? That's cool. I don't really care. But it's that first impression when they're looking at this website. Now, if you're only doing business in the 732 area code, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. But if it's anybody else that you're doing business with out of this, I would really make it a big deal and make sure you get an 800 number. One of the things that Google looks for in your page rank, what phone system number, Bill, it doesn't really matter as long as you're using a voice over IP system that can record your phone calls. And they're coming out with, a dime a dozen of these things. Grasshopper's good. Ring Central's always been good, but I hear their prices are really high. I would just have something you can click to dial on your Windows machine, so it doesn't matter what CRM you're using or anything that you're using. You can use it on your mobile phone or on your computer, and it records your phone calls. That's all I look for in the criteria. And nowadays with portable phone numbers, you can bring your phone number with you from whatever service you have, so you're not stuck with a service anymore. If you want to go to a new service, you just merely fill out the LNP or whatever it is form, and you get your phone number to come with you to the new service. Not a big deal. So one more thing. Most people will only go to one page on your website. Yes, Toby. Dang good job, man. Heck yes. Good job. You have gold stars, as my wife would say. One thing that I would add to this is I would put and I started to talk about dwell time and bounce rate. I would put this over on your front page or a different one on your front page. Let me see what this says. And I don't even know if I serve the audio up on my screen share. Probably not.
Toby Stark, Stark Associates Insurance Agency owner. Glad you reached out to us on the content.
Love that. That's great. That is good. Now, what you can do is you can find a little bit of HTML code on your embed here. Don't just take the iframe embed from YouTube, but you need to add the HTML code to the end of this that will show suggested videos only from your channel. And you can do that. I'm not sure what you're using for WordPress development here, but if you're using something like Elementor, that's just a little checkbox. But if you Google search how to embed YouTube video and show only related videos to mine, I think it's a question mark, REL equals 0. And that'll show related videos only on your channel. So if you've made other videos and they're looking at this when they're pausing it or at the very end, they're going to see other videos that you've done. They're not going to see Chris Westfall, Nick Nimmin, and all the other stuff that's coming from cookies on my computer or whatever they've watched. What'll happen if you don't is Bertha's going to call to Sam, who's on your website, and Bertha's going to say, Sam, I need you to go dry the dishes for me. Sam's going to hit pause on this, right? He's going to get up. He's going to go dry the dishes. He's going to come back and go, that Toby guy was really sharp. I'm going to keep watching his videos. But wait a minute. There's a dog video, a cat video, a raccoon video. Those look really cool, and they're gone. And that's YouTube's version of trying to get more eyeballs in front of their ads. So I would make the related video hyperlink that's going to be in the HTML code, the embed, just to be your video. But this is really good. Let me go back to the main page and talk about bounce rate. If you have Google Analytics on your website, and it's become so convoluted now, it's become so difficult to interpret Google Analytics these days, but one of the key factors that you really want to look at on your websites is the bounce rate and the dwell time. How long are they spending on your page view before they're going somewhere else? And why this is important is Google gives you a domain authority rank for your website. The longer people stay their eyeballs, keep it on your website, and trust me, they know exactly when they've left your website. I can look at my Google Analytics right now, and I can see all the people that are on my website currently as we speak. I can have some little code on my website and see in real time how many people are on my website. So if I can do that with myself, how much more capable is Google in knowing when somebody has left my website, right? So when somebody bounces onto your website, they're coming to get the answer to a question. And now they're looking for a way that they can contact you. And so I want it to be really crystal clear on the website. And this is something this is a do as I say, not as I do situation, because my website is not there yet. I've not taken the time to make this as easy as possible on my website, and I really need to do a better job of that. I know that, and I own it, but I haven't had made the time to do it. But this needs to have a call to action where they can literally reach out to you right away. You've got the phone number up here. You've got the phone number here. This one, neither one is clickable. How can we help you in your business? This should be a link. Anything that you've got on here that's going to take them somewhere else. See where it says quick links right there? You can't click on that and go anywhere else. I know that they're down here, so I have to look at this, and I'm thinking that that's a link. But when somebody comes, let's say they are searching for you, Toby Stark Insurance, Medicare, right? Let me see what comes up with that, by the way. Toby Stark. I'm going to go as specific as I can. Bam, you are there. Good job, man. So this is something you can really use, and it really will help your domain authority. Tell someone to go into their Google search and type in Toby Stark Insurance Medicare or Toby Stark Insurance, whichever one you've got the long tail keyword resolving for. Toby Stark Insurance. Awesome. Because if you tell your people, and I saw a podcaster do this one time, he didn't tell people to go to his website. What he did is he told them to go search for his website, because he knew if they put in the right keywords, they would go to his website, and Google seeing all the search traffic coming to his website. That's cool. So you've got that going for you. When they've come to your website, the worst thing that somebody can do is go right back to the back button here. If Google sees that I left your website and I went back to the search results and I'm looking and I'm scrolling through the search results, there's a service called Hotjar that you can sign up for, and it'll tell you, or it'll show you graphically what people are doing on your web page. It'll show you that they're hovering over this. It'll show you that they're hovering over that. It'll tell you everything that they're doing on the website. You can see how long they spend, the average time. You can replay sessions of people that have been on your website to see where they go and how long they've spent time on there. And that'll really give you an indication as to whether they're getting what they needed. And the best indication is that bounce rate. If your bounce rate is like 90%, then people are not getting what they want when they come to your website. They're going somewhere else. And unfortunately, that's what most insurance agency websites are doing. So while the real estate, when Google talks about it's above the fold or below the fold, right when it lands on your website, this is what we're getting. Everything that you've got is above the fold. You could go way down there. Now in WordPress, and I'm not sure yet, let's see. This is not WordPress. This is, yeah, it is WordPress. Wow, that is so tiny. So in the latest version of WordPress that came out, lazy load is loaded on by default, and version 5.1 and beyond with WordPress, lazy load is already there. Lazy load means as you're scrolling down the page, those pages that are really, really long, they will only show in real time what you are going to see. In other words, it won't load 5,000 words that are on your website if they are there until you need those 5,000 words. As you continue to scroll, it will load those at that time. And that really helps the initial page load, which is another Google ranking factor. On your page, you could have a lot more content down here. You could have the reason for why people are coming to your website. You could have a description of who you are. But this is the most valuable real estate that you have above the fold. And this massive picture right here is a huge image that I think is really, I don't want to say wasting your time. This image is 940 by 350. That is a very, very, very wide and tall image that I would replace with a video of you. A video of you talking about, thanks for coming to my website. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is who I help. If you're in this situation, I'm the guy for you. Let me help you. You can reach me by entering your contact information below and then have a form down here. Or as some of my other friends who are way better at websites than I am, they have a floating contact form that at any point when they've switched over and they've made the decision that you are the person they want to deal with, they can take action immediately without then having to hunt you down. So if I'm going to take action with you right now, I've got to remember this phone number. I've got to transfer it from this application over to my cell phone application, or I'm going to go to the contact us page and see if because nobody wants to call anybody today. My wife constantly reminds me, nobody wants to talk on the phone. They want to submit their information and have you send back the information that they wanted. So this should have a contact form here. Call our office during business hours. What are the business hours? That's going to be found on Google My Business if you're there. So we got the address here, and the form is kind of squished over here. I'm guessing that this is a what do you call it? A little link that you click on, and then it comes into the form. Short code. That's it. So what type of interest are you? Business and Medicare supplement. Remember, every question that you ask in a form will deplete the number of people who will respond to your form. So I would have the minimal number of questions possible that you can ever ask somebody and still be beneficial to them. So by asking all these questions, I would assume that you're taking this person into your CRM, and based on their questions, you're tagging them as that kind of a prospect. And based on that tag, you're going to respond to them automatically in that manner in which they've requested information. Otherwise, it's all fruitless. What else can you tell us about your needs? Name, phone number, which is required right now, and you were just talking about that. And then send. I would make this a little. Now look, this is always a point of critical decision making that someone has. When they've landed on your contact form, this is critical. Let me share with you just a little bit of a difference here. Why don't you like that crazy pointer? What are you talking about, Dave? Let me show you just a little bit different. And I'm not saying mine's better than yours. I'm just saying this is what we've experimented with and had success with. I'm going to go over and load my website. This is my get help here thing. This is where we isolate people and load them into our CRM based on what they've asked for help in. So I greet them with a video that's asking what they want, explaining to them how our process works, who I am. And by the way, you see the quality of this video? Probably not. Let me make it bigger so you can see it. Actually, make it bigger so you can see it better. See the bokeh effect in the background? It looks kind of neat. Looks like it's focused on that. I would ask you, what kind of a camera do you think I use for this? Any guesses? So if you thought that this is a 4K camera with all these fancy things on there, you'd be wrong. Let me show you what happens when I use a Logitech Brio camera. Oh, wait, I took that off yesterday. Let's look at this one. Nope. No, that's not the right one. Maybe I took off the junky video already. Sorry. I did a video on one of these with the webcam, and it was absolutely horrible. The colors were just horrible, and I didn't take the time to fix it in post-production. Just put it on there because I had this idea one day, hey, why don't we segment out our people and give them a call to action? Here's one, nasty. Look at the quality of the color on that. It is so junky. Thank God I only put it in the small thing there. And here I'm talking about Medicare on disability. But the quality of this is absolute trash, and I still need to replace it. I came in here one day with this. I'll show you. I got one of these handy dandy microphones from Amazon. I think this was like $20 or something, and got this little adapter from Amazon. And this adapter goes into my USB-C port on my cell phone, and then into 1/8 inch adapter for a plug. So I take any old microphone, stick it in this thing, and then plug it into my handy dandy cell phone. This is the Android Note 20 Plus Ultra phone. And this is a, I don't know, 48 megapixel camera, some insane kind of camera, but this is not what I used. I used a dinky little selfie cam right here. And they've got a camera mode called Live Focus, and it's software initiated background blur. If you look real carefully at my head, if you zoomed in, but this is not zoomed in on the website, you can tell that the software did not do 100% of a perfect job right around my head with the blurred edges and everything, but it doesn't matter. The quality, the white balance, everything was just so perfect with this cell phone that I was able to deploy this in minutes rather than doing the webcam thing and trying to fix the color and trying to fix the brightness and trying to fix all that kind of junk. So using your webcam to make these landing page videos is very imperative. So this is our landing page thing to ask if we can help them, right? I've got the phone number always visible at the top, and then they can go down these rabbit holes and explain what we're doing and why and what's needed and all that kind of stuff. But I've got a call to action and a form right here. And I put on here that our area code is going to be 843 when we call them. I had this question in a support ticket this morning. I was answering for somebody. What area code do you put on there? And somebody's paying every month for a new phone number in every area code in which they do business. I don't think that's really necessary. Well, of course, it depends on your marketing. If you're calling back cold leads, then maybe it is. But I'll tell you that I live in South Carolina where the area code is 843. And my cell phone I brought from Central Florida when I lived there is 386. So every time my phone rings, as it has twice since I've been sitting here right now, and it rings with a 386 area code, I know for a fact that it's a scammer because they're borrowing somebody's caller ID in the local area to make me think, oh my gosh, it must be somebody I know because they're right down the street. No, I think people are really getting wise to that. And I don't think it's necessary to have a fake caller ID number in a local area. especially if you're doing content marketing and you've let them know when they're filling out the form and in the video that it's going to be a call coming from the 843 area code. When I first got started, all I was doing was using an 800 number for our caller ID, but now we just don't even do that. So anyway, my point is this: when you get on the page to enter your information, that is a key breaking point. Someone is going to make a decision. Okay, this guy looks legit. I feel safe about where my information's going. I'm going to enter my information and it's fine. Or they don't. And by that, I mean, this is the shutdown page again. Dang it. One sec. Feature of live video. So if they're on this page, I need them to know that this is going to be secure, their information here that's coming here, and they can trust me. How do I know if they can trust me? I'm going to put all the social proof on here I possibly can. Google 5 stars, yeah, Better Business Bureau, and all this kind of stuff. And then I have all the testimonials. Matter of fact, I have more testimonials than I need. I have so many testimonials that these are in real time too, by the way. They're updated. And I can go on and on and on and on and on with positive reviews from people. And these are all completely real and in real time. So they can go all the way to the bottom if they want to and find out, okay, this guy's legit, I'm submitting my information. Or they can have a page that doesn't have any of that stuff. So I would have 2 additional videos, Toby, on your site. I would have a video on the front page to stop that bounce rate, because when somebody lands on your web page and there's a video on there, they're going to play the video. And if your video is for 3.5 minutes, you have a 3.5 minute dwell time on your main landing page, you've just solved your problem with the bounce rate right there. It's completely solved. And then the next time I would do it is on this page right here. I would put this short code in the main body instead of the column over here. And right above it, I would say, hey, it's Toby again. Your information is going to be safe here. I don't sell your information. We don't distribute to anybody else. We're going to privately contact you, and we're going to answer your questions. You're going to be in good hands. Go ahead and submit your information below. And that's what they respond to big time. Yeah, video, you got it. Okay, so let's look at another one here. But anyway, I would replace this with your video because you've got the video part down pat. If I'm looking at news here, oh, that's cool. Is that video ask thing? Like that. That's cool. All right. I'll go to another one here. If y'all have any other questions or things, please let me know. Can we do quality videos with iPhone? Absolutely, especially the later versions. There is a guy named, what's his name? Justin. It'll come to me. Hang on. I'm going to get this resource because I think it is a really good one. It is a guy who goes over how to make videos on your cell phone in the best possible way. Here it is. Let me share that. Justin Brown. I met Justin at a thing called Tube Summit. I think that's what it was, in Los Angeles a couple years ago, an event done by Daryl Eves. And he is not only a genius marketer, but an amazing filmmaker. I'll show you something he does in here that is so really cool. If he'll do it here, whenever he gets started. So he shows the absolute right setup for doing filming by video. And he always talks about doing the rear-facing camera because of the fact that you can use a mirror there, and that is just genius. The rear-facing camera on the iPhone is so much better than the front-facing camera that you'll get a lot better quality results. And if you use a mirror there, you don't lose anything. Or you can have someone that's helping you set that up. I have the same exact tripod sitting in front of me with a light on it right now. So he goes over the whole thing, lighting, sound quality, everything. So just go on YouTube and look for Justin Brown. It's Primal Video is the name of his channel. He also talks about how to edit videos. I learned from Justin that I could edit videos, and I've actually done on the way driving in, which I shouldn't admit to. But he talks about using Power Director on your cell phone and a whole bunch of other tools too, where you can literally edit videos on the fly from within your cell phone and then get it to publish in real time. So you don't have to waste any time importing into the computer and doing all that kind of stuff. All of his stuff for free, and he is a great resource to watch. So I'm going to go in here and look at another thing here. Logitech C930. So we're talking about the cameras real quick, Tom. I had the Logitech C920 forever, and it did a really good job. Then I got the Brio camera, which I've got over here on the side, and it's just not that great. And then I discovered a thing called this thing right here, Elgato Camlink 4. And it is a little device that plugs into your USB 3 port on your computer. And in the back end of it, right there, you plug in an HDMI cord. And with that, you can use any camera that you want that's got HDMI out. I happen to be now using a Lumix G7 4K camera with just the kit lens, just the standard lens that comes with it. And it took me forever to finally get to this point because I was just so frustrated with the quality of that camera over and over again. So now I have this camera sitting here, and it is always ready to go at any time. I can show you what it looks like here. Watch this. Through the magic of television. Whoa. Almost. Now it's too much blur. Too much reflection. My camera's just sitting there, always ready to go. Sorry, there's too much blur from the window. Reflection. And it goes down into the computer, and it has really good video, and you can, zoom in and zoom out and focus and all that kind of stuff. And also gives a little bit of the background blur if you change the f-stop just a little bit. Too complicated, I know. You don't even need that. You can just use the cell phone for all the camera things. And I've been recording our weekly meetings, our behind-the-scenes meeting where we have agency meetings on things happening and changes with Medicare. And I'll have my cell phone sitting in front of me, and I'll have the little microphone that goes to the cell phone by wireless called the Smart Mic. And so we use that as our main audio. But then we'll have videos on the cameras on the side. We'll have a GoPro. We'll have the, matter of fact, I was going to turn the GoPro on. We have a 4K camera on the other side. Then we'll have another Osmo Pocket camera on the other side. They're all shooting in 4K except for my cell phone, which is in 1080. And wouldn't you know that the automated cameras, that's the GoPro and the Osmo Pocket, have great white balance automatically right out of the box. The cell phone has the best white balance ever, automatically. Don't have to do anything to it. It's the stinking 4K camera that can't get the white balance right. Sometimes it can, and then we have to edit and post and all that stuff. The more complicated the camera, the more it just pushes down your ability to get content out. So I would really just use the cell phone as much as humanly possible now. So the Logitech camera, I just don't really like them much anymore. And since I do Zoom calls every day with agents now, and if you're on a member of our site, if you'll go to the search bar at the top at Medicare Agent Training and type in planning meeting, and you'll see the link to my calendar. If you ever want to get together and talk about marketing and stuff. Nicole, Ron said to tell you hi. She said, hi, Ron. I can hear her yelling in there. Let's see. What's my take on TikTok? There is a gentleman that is doing, his name is Scott, doing amazing work in the Medicare space on TikTok. I can never even think about keeping up with him, but I wanted to see who's on there. And I literally saw a lady comment to him that she's turning 65 next month or next week or something, and she's going to be reaching out. I'm like, man, go get it. That is so freaking awesome. Good for him. Okay, so I'm going to go up and look at our next website thing just to look at. Wow, got a lot of friends on here. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. And let's look at another one of them websites. One sec, y'all. Hang on. Currently updating my website. Got an 800 number through Ring. Okay, got that one. Let's look at this one, Tommy. It is called Gina's Financial. Maybe I got it wrong. Okay, that's a problem. Oh, I love the Top Gun logo. Wait a minute. Okay, good. I just typed it wrong the first time. Good deal. So if you ever go to your website and it works with only the www and it doesn't work with just typing it in, because people just don't like to do the www thing. It's no longer needed since like 1986. And when agents give out their websites, so many times agents will say, okay, my website is www. Don't do that anymore. They don't need it. It's just a waste of breath and a waste of time. So if you find that your website does not resolve correctly, unless they're doing the www thing, that's an HT access problem that you can either Google search the answer for or get with your website company that's hosting it for you, and they can make that redirect happen for you. It's really done on the domain level. We use Namecheap for all of our domains because it's the fastest resolution to, what do they call it? It has to propagate around the world to let all the servers around the world know what IP address that domain goes to. And it's probably 100 times faster than GoDaddy at Namecheap. If you're a member of our website, on the tools you need page is a link that you can go right to it and get a discount for Namecheap. So I like this website a lot. It's got a lot of welcoming feel to it, not useful in the sense that I can't do anything except go to another page to get a quote. And similarly, as we were talking about with Toby's, there's nothing here for me to grab onto right away. I do like the links on here. Now that one's got a link to, and let me see if it opens in another page. Yes, perfect. That's great. So this is an article that you wrote. Now I get it. That's your last name. That's very cool. Very smart. Good hyperlink to that. I would have this go to the About page on RICP, which I think is through, I can't remember, CFP board people, and tell them what that means, because that's just not a real common term yet. But if they click on that and it goes to open a new page, not taking them off of your main page, but opens a new page to explain what that is and how hard that was to get. Same with this one, and same with this one. I would just let them know, because like a Better Business Bureau link on your website really should take them to your Better Business Bureau page where they can see all of your great reviews right away. Not only does it create a backlink to that page, which will help Google to determine the fact that you're the authority for that, you own that, and that page is linked to you. It'll really help you both on your page and on your Better Business Bureau search result page. But it's also good for people who they say, okay, well, you say that you've got an A+ rating with Better Business Bureau. Let me click it and see. And they go to click one of these things and it doesn't work. By the way, I do not like the Better Business Bureau. This is a personal feeling. Love you guys. You're great. But for what they do, I think it's kind of, I don't know, embezzlement of real business owners, especially when they just, I don't know, it's just not that great of a thing. But I do know, and my clients have told me repeatedly over the years, that is a marker that they look to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to do business with someone. So for that very reason, we have a Better Business Bureau presence, and we drive through our, what do you call it? Review management system, reputation management system thing. We drive them there to leave a positive review if they're inclined to be doing a positive review anyway. A couple of points off for doing the 888 number. And Tom, you're talking about that. Oh, no, Tom, you said exactly what I was just saying. Belinda, you mentioned, is it better to have, or is it okay to have an 877 number? It is a couple of points off. I can't give you a full gold star for that, because I've talked to my clients about this, and it's also in that Marketing to Seniors book where it specifically talks about the 800 number. Seniors just have it in their mind that 800 numbers are attributed to the old, Sears and Roebuck and JCPenney and all the old catalog companies, that really holds value in their mind. They think of you as like the big, tall skyscraper in New York because you have an 800 number. And I can kind of date your business and tell when you've obtained this number. First there's 800, then there's 888, then there are 877, then 866, then 855, then 844, now 833. And the longer down the road that you've waited to get that number, and you can still get an 800 number, you really can. It just shows that the business has not been in business for that long, and there's not as much widespread authority granted to somebody who's got an 877 or 866 number. Most people do know what it means right now, but it's just not as good as an 800 if you can do it. So I'd hate to butcher your name by saying it the wrong way, but what I would do I would build some credibility on this website right away if I were you. Best way to do that is by having a video up in here. Now, this is a real easy website to put up, but I would put these things higher too. You got to go below the fold to find out that there's value for a consumer here. I would take this off. This is the world's oldest image having to do with Medicare that's ever been used anywhere. And I would take the font, which is at 10 or 12 points right here, and I would make it at least 14 or 16 or 18. Keeping in mind our target audience here is somebody that's 64 plus, and even at 100 screen, if I'm looking at this without my glasses on and I'm only 50, it's kind of difficult. I can't even read that, literally. I would have to make it larger for me to be able to see that. So I would change the font on this. I'm not sure what platform you're using, but if you're using some kind of content management system like WordPress, that should be easy to do all across the whole platform, real easy. Somebody else made this for you. They're hosting it on a CDN, which is great for speed. you're using an outdated browser. Oh, that's the thing that comes up for someone. So you've got a website admin login thing. So who is this that's running? Okay, so that's where you log in to see your reviews, or your responses rather. I would put this on WordPress if it's not. I'm not sure what this is. I found out, gosh, in meetings this week with brand new agents, they're all paying this company like $200 or $250 a month to host a website, an insurance website. And they're like, yeah, but they post on my Facebook page every once in a while, which is absolutely worthless. Facebook has taken away all organic traffic to your Facebook page from just articles that you put on there. No one will ever, ever, ever see them unless you boost them. That happened like 3 years ago. So if you're still paying that company that's charging $100 or $200 a month because they give you an insurance website, my gosh, get off of there. Even our favorite domain company, Namecheap, they're hosting websites now for $4 or $5 a month. We have a discount at Medicare Agent Training on the tools page. They are just as fast as where I had my website hosted before, where we were paying $300 a month for 300 plus websites. And we moved over to Namecheap, paying an ungodly cheap amount for the same exact speed, same resources. So if you're paying more than $10 or $15 a month, you really should get off of those platforms, because they're absolutely ripping you off, and you can use that more for your ad spend. So on the Medicare tab here, there's no helpful information here, and that's what people are craving. So this is more of a landing page, which is a great first step. Don't get me wrong. If your marketing is doing a great job bringing them in the door, then you don't need your website to take them across the finish line. That's wonderful. But still, I would replace this with something that's going to keep them on the page more. And I'm looking to see if you have any articles anywhere. Wait, there we go. There's one right here. Yeah, I would keep doing articles, and I would put who wrote the article in here, your name, because people don't want to do business with a business name or a non-branded entity. They want to do business with a person. And this is great. It's got your name as the fin. So that's your name. It's branded as you. Good, go for it. But if I were you, I would have a video here, and I would provide some value by just directing them to things that you can do. Who is your audience that you help? I would put links to these actual resources on there. I would be more welcoming, and I would put a face on here. If you don't want to do a video, great. Just put your face on there and a little bit of a biography as to who you are. They want to know who they're dealing with. Is that on the About Us page? This is the most visited page on anybody's website, the About Us page. There's nothing on here. I found the other day, I was looking through the Facebook ad repository to see what's new in the world of Facebook ads from some of my competitors, and some of them are quite humorous. But on the About Us pages on their websites, all these huge landing companies, lead aggregator sites, especially like the call centers in South Florida, all their websites say under the About Us, because that's what seniors want to do. They want to make a connection. They want to make an emotional connection with somebody they can trust and do business with. All those websites, I mean, really high-end ads on Facebook, and yet the senior responds to it. They go to the website. They're like, okay, let me find out about us. We do this. Why choose us? People don't want to deal with an us. They don't want to deal with a we. They want to deal with a person who can solve their problem. I would have a face on here, and unless you've got 500 agents in the building, take advantage of the fact that you are one person by saying, here's who I am, here's my background, here's what our company can do for you. We support you, we're all here for you, and then have like a group photo of your staff with you. But if you can personalize this and say how long you've been in business, what you do, the states that you serve, maybe, things like that, that's what they're really looking for. You've got a schedule appointment thing on here. Cool. It's a Calendly embed. One thing that we found success with is after they ask after they submit their information asking for something, then the exit page from that form takes them to your calendar already. It gives you two different benefits there. One, you've already got their information, so you can follow up when it's convenient for you, when you can do it as soon as you can. But two, it gives them that added step that they can skip a step and get right onto your calendar. And we're doing that with Calendly too. So when they submit their information to us, we've got it, but at the same time, we'll give them an opportunity to go to our calendar, because nowadays what happens, it's not just the caller ID phenomenon, it's the fact that people are now getting out a lot more. And so they're going to be traveling, they're going to be going everywhere, they're not going to recognize the phone number and all that kind of stuff. So rather than back and forth, we try to limit that by saying, thank you for reaching out. We have your information now. If you'd like to book a time on our calendar, this will skip the steps of going back and forth to see when you're available. We simply don't have enough administrative people to call back our leads right now, which is why Alexa's in the other room. We want more people to go to that calendar, but not the calendar first. because the calendar sometimes will intimidate some people. We want them to be a secondary step after they've already taken the step of faith to reach out to us. I would have a full-blown call to action on their About Us page. If you've done a good enough job on here and you've proven who you are, and let me just share with you. Again, I'm not saying mine is best by any means, but I know that the About Us page is the first thing and the top thing that people are going to. So notice the font size. I'm answering the question who I am. This gives me amazing dwell time on here. This video is, oh gosh, 11 years old. Woo, I look young there. But see the lazy load feature, and this is an Elementor. It's coming up. Why deal with somebody that's an independent agent? Questions and answers about us, that kind of thing. Our phone number's on there. That should be clickable, but it's not. An embed of our short code, all the testimonials is on here. And our phone number again. The heck is that? Oh, I think I brought in the wrong template. Would you look at that? But it needs to have a contact form on there, because as soon as they've decided that they're going to reach out and do business with us, we need to grab them right there. So note to self, that page needs to be updated. That's fun. Yeah, Tommy, you got that right. That's who it is. I didn't want to mention their name though, but I wouldn't use them. It's time I search. Well, Miss Divine, I would really suggest you go to, I've already done that for you, go to the Aetna webinar that I did past Wednesday. It's the second newest thing on MedicareAgentTraining.com. Thanks, Christina. I see you on there. And let's see. I'll have to find that Marketing to Seniors book, because I put it somewhere where I can't see it in my field of view right now. And let's see. What webinar software are you using, and what slide presentation software are you using? Ron, send me a support ticket. I'll send you all that info. Let's see here. See if there's one more website we can get into. We're an hour and a half in, and this is fun, y'all. I know there was one more website. Give me just a second. We're going to get there. There we go. Just got this website in November. Haven't done much with it yet. Simple plans, or I can't do that one. I'm also in Connecticut, also licensed in New York, work mostly face-to-face. I was captive before COVID. It's been hard, but I'm determined to make it happen. If I were you, Sergio, and this is just me to you, I would not spend a lot of my time focused on New York at all, or any state by that matter that does a focus on all open enrollment, all guarantee issue, birthday rule, anniversary rule, any of that kind of stuff. Why? Because easy come, easy go. And it's too easy for people to leave you all year, all the time, by anyone who's got a better marketing game than you. And I would not recommend putting your eggs into a basket where your lifetime value of a client is 1/10 of what it would be if you were in neighboring New Jersey, for instance, which it literally is. So I would spend my time using the telephone and marketing with people that are not in a guarantee issue state. So let's take a look at your website real quick. It is this one right here. Take off my logo so you can see that the logo has nothing to do with it. Simple Plan, simplifying your Medicare options. Simple, okay. Your logo there, and About Us page. First thing they're going to go to. We've got a contact form on there. You are a Medicare health insurance specialist, an independent broker with a decade of successful experience assisting seniors to engage in life-changing decisions, especially with Medicare insurance coverage. Sergio specializes in Medicare supplements or Medigap plans and Medicare Advantage plans. As an independent agent, Sergio is in contract with most of the health plans in New York and Connecticut. He regularly attends local and national training conferences to keep current in the difficult, confusing, and ever-changing world of Medicare health benefits. Sergio is a devoted husband. Okay. That last sentence down there, devoted husband, father, and grandfather. What we've had tremendous success with in our office is showing people who we are. It's in all of our signature taglines on our emails that go out to clients right now. And they freaking love it. They love it. When we have our picture of the group, our office. And before that, I would use for years, and it's still on our website, on Medicare Agent Training under the page that says sell 100% by phone, which I made in 2013 and keep updating. But when I first started, no one knew who I was. We were using telemarketing and all that. I would try to get people on a screen share. Back then we were using Join Me. Today we use Screen Leap, which is easy and also integrated already into our CRM, which is Radius. We can literally just click on send screen share to somebody right now, and boom, they've got it right there. The login link, they don't have to download anything, log in anything. They literally click the link and boom, they're on our screen. Works really well to try to build credibility with people. So what I would always do is take them into a PowerPoint presentation. Now we use Google Slides because, again, Microsoft Office you don't need anymore. Google Slides is free. Bring them onto the screen and show them my family pictures. And it really, really, really worked well. Actually, I have that first presentation still on our website. But showing your family picture here, you're talking about devoted husband, father, and grandfather. I would really encourage you to have some pictures of your family on there, because it makes a personal bond with people, especially grandparents. They want to have that bond with somebody else that's in their same age group. And what I see far too often, and I'll meet with these agents on the Zoom calls, right, every week. When you're a sharp looking gal or dude and you're not using video and you're not using your picture and you're not using your family picture, you're really, really missing the boat. People don't want to do business with a website. They want to do business with a person. Now, using clip art and things that you get from websites like this, so you can just, people know that that's not you. Okay, this is a faceless corporation that's using clip art, still images, stock photos, whatever you want to call it. And they want to do business with a person. Here's another opportunity for you to have a video right before your call to action to tell them why they're submitting their information, how your information is going to be protected by you. And then I'm not sure what you have. The second thing to do is to go through this process and see what happens at the end of it. Where does it take them to? Does it take them to your schedule page or whatever? So good, you've got articles on here. Medicare Simplified. I would raise the font level just on this for eyesight purposes. If you want to go deeper and have more dwell time on your page and have Google like you a lot more, I would simply do a presentation on each one of these points and put it on here as an embedded video. We talked about Toby's website before and how awesome it was that he had the YouTube embed in there. Let me just go a little deep into that just for a second. Like on Toby's page, he had a video on his page, which really helps the dwell time and all that. It's awesome. But if you put that video on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, and whether you ever do anything with YouTube channel or not is beside the point. What I'm trying to do is help people stay on your website and get to your website. YouTube knows, and YouTube is owned by Google, paid billions for it. YouTube and Google both know that now their code is over embedded on your website. Every time somebody plays that video on your website, it's going to help your YouTube channel. Every time somebody's on your YouTube channel, and this is why that video should be public and not unlisted, who is your name? Insert your name here. They will be Google searching that, and Google will boost that. So it'll come back in search results on their platform, on YouTube. If you do have other videos on YouTube, they're going to start going down what I call the rabbit hole, finding out everything that you've ever put online. What so many agents do is they'll say, okay, I understand video is important. I need to use video in my marketing. I need to use video on my website. I'm going to have the highest class video ever. I'm going to put it on Vimeo, and I'm going to make it private. So the only time you can ever see my video is if you land on my website. So if you land on my website, now you can play my Vimeo website, my player. And it's just really bad idea. Vimeo, their domain authority when it comes to, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Yelp, and all the rest, they're like number 25 or 260, doesn't matter. They're so far down there that Vimeo stuff is just not going to come up in the SERPs. That's the search engine ranking. So the most important thing you can do is go create a video, put it on YouTube, get the embed code from YouTube, put that over on your website. Now the rising tide raises all ships, right? Your YouTube channel is boosting your website with a backlink. They know it's embedded there. Your website's boosting your YouTube channel because it's getting a play. Somebody's watching your video and getting play time on your video. The longer they watch the video, the better for you, and you're going to show up in suggested videos. So don't skimp on when you're making a video. Look at the description down there. Go as long as you can, 500 characters or whatever it is. And your tags having to do with what you're talking about. The reason I bring all that up is this is a good opportunity in that you've segmented out, which Google loves, these different article criteria. And every time you click on one of these, it brings it up right here. They don't even have to leave the page. This is great. This is one of the things covered by the guys over at Income School. But what would make this even better is right above all this text, if you brought in a video that you read this information, but not word for word, because that's death by PowerPoint. Don't ever read slides. But if you go over this and make a connection with them, basically covering these things right here. And what Gary Vaynerchuk's talked about for so long is you take somebody and you meet them where they are. If they're on voice, good. You need to be on Alexa. You need to be on Google Voice. You need to be on the printed mediums out there. You can be on medium.com. You can have your PDF shared online with your transcript of what you said. All that starts with a video. So in the video, you're talking, right? Then the talking can be transcribed. There's a company called rev.com, REV.com. It's like $1.25 per minute, but they have actual humans that type it in. So you can take your transcript from your video and put that into a blog post. You can also take your transcript and put it into a PDF. Here's a little secret that I learned from the guys over at Hump Day Wednesday, the SEO Masters. You can take your transcript, put it into a Google Doc, make the Google Doc public, and then have a backlink from your website to the Google Doc. Google kind of likes their own properties. And so when you have a document that's on Google talking about all this kind of stuff, and you can actually embed your YouTube video in that document as well and make it public, now you've got a separate property that happens to be hosted on Google that really gives you another backlink and is good for your overall rankings, especially if you're taking the time to write an article like this. So I would do a video on this just to go back to it. I would increase the font just a little bit, put a video reading all this information, but in a nice way. And then always a call to action. Every time you deliver something to them, always, always, always at the very end of that, hey, if we can reach you or we can help you in any way, here's our contact information, or better yet, fill out this secure form and we'll reach you however you prefer to be reached. No pressure. But I would do that because you've got great content here. I would just put it in the different platforms for different people. And I would replace this right here with who you are. I would go all in on you as a person. And even the About Us page, I would put your family picture on here, if not a video. I mean, the photograph should be simple. You should have a photograph somewhere of something. And people will really respond to that a lot more. And let me see if there are any last agent questions on here. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. Andy, no, it's not that book. I know which one you're talking about. I've got that in here too, and that's not the one. I can't remember the guy's name. He was a financial planner, and he was in Central Florida. Awesome, Dale. Thanks. Well, this has really been fun, y'all. There was a question about Google right here. Blair says, does your Google business review link you send to customers pre-populate with 5 stars? How do you do that? The only reason why it did when I was showing you the actual link is because I had already rated myself as 5 stars when I very first set that up to see if it worked. So anytime a person clicks on that link again, it's going to take them right into what they've already done before. So no, it doesn't pre-populate the 5 stars. That's why it was showing on mine. Found that out later when doing it incognito. But it does take them all the way, skip them into the listing and to where they can do it. And that's why I only want to send people there after they've already indicated that they're going to leave me 5 stars on my software there, my website. Have I used agent methods? No, and I won't. Because I'm 100% convinced that as an agent, I'll know more about my topic than they would. And Facebook articles on the Facebook page is just about 1% better than completely useless right now. Unless you have a lot of engagement on the page. And generic articles like that, they just don't create engagement. No, Kevin, I would not say that that is worth it. Not from what I've seen this week. I went through a couple of website reviews with agents that I met with this week, and they told me what they're paying and what they're getting out of it, and I don't see the value. I really don't. Sorry. Mr. Stuart Franklin Brown, good to see you on here. So y'all, that's about it for today. I really want to spend some more time going further in depth on the things that we're doing to be found online in future meetings like this. Thank you all so much for spending your Saturday, part of it with me today. And I'm going to go in there in the other room and find out. Actually, let me look and see if I can make that. How do I make that full screen? Nope. Hang on. Remove. Where did she go? She's hiding somewhere. Can't see her. All right, y'all. We all have a wonderful day. God bless you wherever you are in your business. I hope the best for you and yours. If I can do anything to help you, my website is MedicareAgentTraining.com, where we've just been documenting our journey for the last long time. 2013, we started that website. started selling over the phone and stuff in 2008. There she is. Whoops, wrong camera.
Oh, I don't know which camera. Hi.
Hi, Nico. You all have a wonderful Saturday. Anything I can do to help, reach out. Talk to you all soon.
I expect to get from the event camaraderie, meet some people who are doing what I'm doing, and I really respect the work that Chris is doing. He's a really straight up guy, and he has integrity, and I like following that. And I think that I think we have a lot to. He has a lot to offer this weekend, so I'm excited about it. And I think that we're gonna have a good time too.
My name is Terry Evans from Miami, Florida. I'm a Medicare supplement specialist, and I'm at this event to expand my horizons, to think about other opportunities as I near retirement.
Hi, my name is Steve Burnett, and I came over here to learn to sell Medicare on the telephone in a better fashion because I think I'm lacking in some areas and there's a lot of people here to talk to, and I'm going to come away from here and I'm going to be excellent at what I do.
It'll be an exciting weekend, a great weekend to recharge and really come up with some new ideas to really improve my business and get it growing great.
My name's Phyllis Dixon. I'm from Tidewater, Virginia, and I really enjoyed this session of the Medicare Agent Training Institute here in Charleston, South Carolina. The people that come are from all over the United States, full of enthusiasm, excited about the prospects of selling Medicare to more people and helping more folks. And the attitude of all the staff at Medicare Agent Training is so professional and so kind and thoughtful about others, and so thorough that it's very inspiring, and I highly recommend working with them and being at any of their events. And I've enjoyed it so much. I'm taking a lot away, and I've met new people, and I'm very excited about it.
It's Chris. I'm at the Warwick Castle in the United Kingdom in England here. They used to perform torture back there in this medieval castle. Pretty crazy, and it's a beautiful place too. I want to share with you what's going to happen here soon on Medicare Agent Training. Actually, we're adding it right now. We're going to add a lot more behind the scenes things, what we're doing in our meetings, our sales training that we do for our internal staff, things that we're coming up with, and things that we're testing along the way, and we'd like to share those behind the scenes things with you. We're also going to share our recordings with our conversation with clients where we have objections and our sales process. Why? Because knowing what we do inside is just like coming to sit down with us in our office, as many agents often ask, and we don't have the space to accommodate 3,400 agents in our office. So this is something we're going to do to let you in behind the scenes. So make sure to stay tuned at MedicareAgentTraining.com, because I can't wait to bring that stuff to you. We're uploading it now and over the next couple of weeks. Pretty neat place here, and we'll be going to the rest of England this week, London tomorrow, and then Rome next week. So until then, take care. Did you like the castle?
Yes, but we're not done seeing it yet. We haven't even seen the castle yet.
Yeah, we have. You climbed it.
No, that's not the castle. We still have to go in the castle, babe.
Didn't you climb it right over there?
That's not the castle.
Where is it? That was a